we have head coach Pat Noonan. Coach, I just want to start with your thoughts on tonight's win.
Yeah, pretty bizarre 1-0 win. I like the outcome. How we got there was, at times concerning, but what this, group of players has consistently done is figure things out. So first half, just some really poor composure on the ball, some poor decision making, and that was the biggest frustration and talking point at the break, because defensively you can't have a whole lot of answers when you have guys starting to move into attacking positions and have such poor turnovers. But guys got better in the second half, played with more courage and were more patient. Too often we were going up the same channel, and then in the second half I thought we did a better job of moving the ball side to side. It freed us, in positions where we can find Lucho, where we could get our wingbacks more advanced and with space, and then created some good looks from that. So that part I was pleased with the way the guys adjusted. But there could have been, if we're being honest, 4 or 5 goals from each team. So on the defensive side, we need to clean that up, but I still think we did a good job of creating chances, and in the end, a good win.
Good questions. We'll start with you, Pat.
In terms of building towards as good a form as you could find between now and the start of the postseason, do you feel like where were the areas of progress tonight?
The chance creation was there. We created some really good looks. Our final, pass, decision, quality, that was, you could see that was off. It was off for both sides, but, that hasn't been a challenge, consistently. So I was pleased with that. Overall, I would say a little bit more critical in most aspects of the game when you see how it was played. Yeah. And they're a good team, and they're desperate, so they're going for it in different ways. So what we talked about before the game was, if we're in a position where we're level or ahead, we need to understand what the game is going to look like for us defensively, and having stability and the spacing right to be able to get pressure to the ball and know that moments will come in transition for us to create and score. So that needed to be the priority. And in the second half, I think in a lot of ways it felt much better. I'll have to look back, but I think that was the biggest takeaway for me. And so you have to figure out, we're going to have a road game, in the first round of the playoffs. So you got to figure out how to be a little bit more connected, especially on the defensive side of the ball, so that we can attack in a more efficient way with more numbers. And those are some of the things.
It's a weird question that I'll ask because it's coming after a win, and I'm only asking it kind of based on listening to your evaluation. But are you concerned at all with where the team is tracking with one regular season game left?
In some areas, yes, because you're not going to win playoff games playing like that. I think the guys know it. If we're going to be honest about the assessment of the game, look past the result. How did we perform? And in a lot of ways, I think we underperformed. And so, while we've been able to figure out how to win in the regular season, the games just look different in the playoffs. And I think the guys will be sharper. A lot of it will have to do with how brave we are on the ball and being able to play the game. And if that improves, I think we'll be okay. But defensively, the way the guys defend the box, the way they defend in isolation, the way they put out fires has been a strength of our group. But you can only withstand so many of those moments when the other stuff isn't strong. So, that's the part we need to improve on. And we got a decent amount of time now to assess this past week and talk through some things. And I think the guys will be on the same page and understand, some of those things.
Speaking of that defensive effort, Matt Miazga has another night where he looks like if not the best defender in the league, or one of the best defenders this year. What does he do for you tonight to make that all happen?
A lot of it has to do with organization. He's talking. That helps in a lot of moments. You won't see that. But where he separates himself and where I think Nick and Ian and Yerson and guys that have been in those center back positions is the way they defend the box, the way they block shots, the way they deal with crosses. We typically don't allow easy chances because of their desire to defend the ball and defend the goal. So that's where he's been strong, and I think was tonight. It's some of the on-the-ball decisions where I think we're still too erratic, and Matt can improve in some of those moments where we're playing direct and we have the numbers to connect shorter passes. So I think that's the biggest challenge for the back line, is finding different ways to play with the ball on the ground, so that it doesn't get too direct and too open. And that's one of the areas Matt, I think, can improve some of those decisions.
And then late in a tough moment, it's a tight game late, you go to Malik in the stressful moments. What has he shown you of late to earn those opportunities?
Positional understanding, connecting the simple passes. I talked about how much we struggled in the first half with winning a ball, and then it's a turnover, and now we're defending in transition. I think he's done a good job and continued to grow with the composure on the ball, with connecting simple passes that allow us to break that initial pressure and then start to move forward. And then, like I said, defensively, I've seen good things. I still think there's some moments where his footwork and how he deals with some creative attackers has to improve, so we're not conceding fouls in dangerous areas, or he's not getting turned in and around goal. But I just in a lot of ways liked his discipline when we're protecting a lead.
All right, we'll go to the Zoom now, and Laurel Failer. Laurel, go ahead.
Thank you.
Do you get any extra satisfaction of being the team to knock out Miami? Just, we saw how dangerous they could be in Leagues Cup and obviously the Open Cup. Do you get any, we talked about that, just playing that role of spoiler, but just being Miami tonight, is there any extra satisfaction in that?
Not particularly. We know they're a dangerous team, and if they work their way into the playoffs, that's a likely first round opponent or second round when we enter in after the 8-9 play. That's likely who we would have seen if they're able to to win a game. So that would have certainly been a challenging first opponent for us, but extra satisfaction, not particularly. I'm just happy we won the game.
And then as far as the second half adjustments, obviously you brought in Lupenza. Is it as simple as making that change, or what did you kind of see that really sparked a better second half for you guys?
Yeah, going into the game, he was one of the two with Yerson that was just rested, so we didn't overload him. And look, both of them could have played, but I wanted to take a little bit of that risk away and make sure that guys weren't playing with fatigue. So at 45-60, we were just going to see how the game was going to potentially make a change up top, and I just thought the time was right at the break to incorporate Aaron into the game.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you so much, Pat.
Thank you.